Hey guys, it's me, Serenity. Alright, I have hair in my hair. Hair in my hair. I have hair in my mouth. I'm just out here taking a walk in the beautiful, breathtaking ambiance of nature. And I swear, I feel like as I'm ascending, I'm getting so much more sensitive to every single sensation. And at first when it happens, it feels like a heaviness because it's like, geez, I thought I was already sensitive. Why do I have to feel more? Why do I have to feel more deeply? But I also want to feel more deeply because I want to take in and perceive as much of what life has to offer as I can while I'm here. And I was just thinking as I was walking how I not only feel like I can feel the wind on my skin, but I can hear it, but it's almost like it's speaking to me at a different frequency, and I can't really understand what it's saying, but like when you just sit in the stillness of silence, you can hear and feel so much. Like, okay, I'm just gonna be quiet. And as soon as I got quiet, the wind got so much stronger. And it just reminds me of Pocahontas, where she was saying, can you paint with all the colors of the wind? And logically that doesn't make sense because the wind doesn't have any color, but there's so many layers of depth that not many people tune into. And the deeper you go and the higher, the more your consciousness breaks open, the more you experience both the pleasure and the pain. Like you can't peel away a layer of ego and open up to a higher level of consciousness without also feeling and experiencing more intensely. And more intently, because you're intentionally, opening yourself up to these new dimensions of existence. You're willingly killing off the ego to open yourself up to this heightened state of awareness. And as I said before, when it first happens, it's literally like a literal death. And I purged so much through crying. Like those crying energies heal me so much, and every time I cry more and more and more deeply. And it's like the more the heart breaks open, the more the light is indeed allowed to get in, and the more it's like a loop of light. Like it feels like darkness because it's the suffering and it's the pain and it's the heaviness, but then if you don't have that, you like the more intensely you experience the light is the more intensely you're going to experience the dark, or what you perceive to be the dark, because everything is based on whatever our perceptions are. But either way, it's beautiful if you allow it to be. And I wanted to tie that into the inevitability of triggering in any life experience, but in particular with the twin flame. And you, as soon as you think the triggering is over and that you're just like in a really blissful bubble, a nice cozy state where you can just kind of coast, something else that comes up that you need to heal more deeply arises. Because it's like the trigger is like, it's like a knock on your heart space, and it's like, hello, it's time to pay attention. Yes, you are doing great work. You are healing so much more deeply, and thus you are rising higher, but there is still more to heal so you can continue to rise. And it's really, really a blessing. When it first started happening, I'm like, oh my God, this is painful. Like, I was comfortable with the person that I was before I knew that I had so much healing to do. And so it's like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort that you have to put in to consciously become aware of those things in you that are no longer serving you, so that you can experience what your highest good is in this current incarnation. And I feel like one of the deepest triggers of all is finally being cleared. There was a quote that said, this is the time of healing, and you will continue to be triggered and continue to experience. The lesson will continue to come around until there's no more energetic charge left behind the trigger. Until there's no more energetic charge left behind the trigger. So the more that you are triggered in the same spot, the more that you become, I don't want to say desensitized, but the more that you are awakened to it, and thus the charge lessens, because it doesn't impact you as much. And my trigger in particular has been the abandonment, feeling of abandonment, because I have experienced that. The first male figure I experienced that from was my father, but the abandonment was never intentional, and I knew that, and I had so much compassion and love for my father, irregardless of him not being able to be present in my life, because he never had a father who was present in his life. So it's like, how can I blame someone for not knowing how to fully show up and be there for themselves, let alone a child? Like, that's a lot of responsibility. And so then you just have a deeper compassion for that person, and then you realize that it cannot be personal. It's impossible for it to be personal. And so during this last stint of abandonment, I'm going to say the last because I'm speaking it into existence, because there's no more, oh, there's a bee, I don't want to get stung. Because I'm done experiencing that pain and that suffering. And there was a YouTube video that I kept coming across. I didn't watch it, but it was an Alan Watts video, and it said, you suffer because you enjoy it. And I was like, that's pretty harsh. Like, nobody enjoys suffering, but it's like, we experience what we want to experience, because obviously we want to experience it so we can feel it and feel through it and learn through it and grow through it, which is a beautiful process in and of itself. But in any event, this last stint with my twin, where in which we were so close to union, and we were going to meet up in the physical, and I reached out to him and opened up a part of my heart that I don't usually open up unless it's like in poetic form, but I've never really been able to have a heart-to-heart conversation with my higher heart. Okay, I've always had an open heart space, and I've always connected and communicated through the heart, because there was also something that's like, old souls come with a heart level consciousness already, so that's like already embedded within my system, so that was inevitable. But when you get up to the higher heart and you start to ascend and become aware that you are ascending and transcending dimensions, then you access parts of you that you didn't even know were there, like they were latent. And then it's like my twin activated that that DNA that was latent in me. And we triggered that awakening as a catalyst for each other. And so this last stint, we were supposed to meet up and whatever, and then I opened up a really high vibrational part of myself, and then he blocked me immediately. But it's like, that's the pattern. So it's like, why am I still getting upset if I see that that's the pattern? Like, that's not on him, that's on me. And so I'm just grateful that it's pushing me to open up parts of myself that I never knew. So there's always a blessing there. And when your twin, it seems like he or she is abandoning you, they are really pushing yourself to face yourself. And sometimes we have to be forced into that position to face ourselves, because sometimes that's the last person we want to face is ourselves, because we don't want to own up to the parts of us that we have yet to heal, or we don't want to own up to the responsibility that we have more work to do, because we're already tired and drained from doing all this work. But it's never ending, guys. It's a never ending process, and if it were to end, then it would just all be over. So what fun would that be, right? And what really helps me come to really deep realizations is during those times of separation. I come to wondrous epiphanies when we are in connection, because we open up parts of ourselves and are able to access parts of ourselves and fluidly have our currents, our energetic currents, in a seamless synchrony, a seamless synergy, and it's so freaking beautiful. So I'm not downplaying separation versus being in connection. I'm not saying one is higher than the other, but they both bring out different parts of you, and they help you bring out those parts of you to share with the world, and not just with your twin. Because although it's beautiful, and the twin kind of makes you feel safe in who you are and who you're becoming, it gives you kind of a safe space to evolve into the person that you're becoming, because you know that you have that unconditional love from that person. And it's like, if they love it and you love it, then kind of who cares if no one else loves it? But it turns out that other people will love it, because other people are going to resonate with that authentic part of you, with that true essence that is dying to come up for breath, dying to come up for air. But in any event, during separation, I'm sorry, I want to stop saying it's just separation. During that time when you are focusing on yourself and not putting so much focus into your twin, you are able to come to deeper self-realizations. And so during that time, I like to obviously read a lot and watch a lot of movies, because so many deep concepts are portrayed within artwork, within the very fabric of the artwork. It's all just concepts of human existence being related. It depends on what your level of awareness is when you're watching it. But in any event, I was watching this movie on Hallmark, and just make sure you pay attention to what your heart and your intuitive knowingness is drawn to, because you're drawn to stuff for a reason. And when I read the summary, I knew that it was going to help me come to some epiphany within, to give me a greater understanding of what's going on within myself. So it's about a woman who was a writer, and I'm a writer, a poet. I love writing, and I'm trying to figure out my next move for my next book. I kind of already know, but I'm moving in a different direction than I usually was in, so it's kind of like a transition period. And the woman was a writer. She was working for a publishing company or whatever. I don't think I would ever work for a publishing company, because I just want to be authentically me. I don't want nobody telling me anything to do. I don't want nobody trying to direct me into how they want me to compose things. I'm just so me, for real. No. So I'm just whatever. In any event, she was a writer, and she was dating this guy who was just not all there. He didn't really know himself, and she didn't really know herself. They didn't really know themselves, so they didn't really get to know each other. And so she was getting to a point where she was getting bored, and she was something just feels off, and she started doing things different in the relationship. She did something little, I want to wear a nice red hot dress to one of the events, and the guy was thrown off. He was oh my God, that's too much. You're doing too much. Why are you not being consistent, basically, with who I thought you were? But then that was a new part of her that wanted to birth, and it scared him, because he didn't know who that was, basically. And the thing was, he didn't want to try to get to know who that was. He just wanted to shut it off completely and have her go back to being bland Sandy, who didn't know who she was, because he didn't know who he was, and maybe he wasn't ready to get to know who he was. So whatever. This is deep parallels with how I was with my ex. When I was with my ex, I started to do things just a little differently than I did in the beginning, because I felt I wasn't conforming to what he wanted, because I was trying to find myself, and I was finding pieces of myself in him. But then after 2 years, it's okay, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm not interested in that anymore. We would go to concerts with rap music and stuff, and nothing, I don't care about rap music. It's just that I didn't want to be, I didn't resonate with that frequency anymore. So I was shifting into I don't want to say a higher vibration, because I don't want to make it seem like levels. Our frequencies were just moving apart from one another. And I was doing things differently, and it scared him. I remember it was just the simplest thing. We were at Fridays or Applebee's, and when we're there, I usually would get like E&J or Jack Daniels, and I ended up getting, I ordered a glass of wine, and that day I was like dressed completely different. I was dressed like more elegant, and I had cut my hair into like a bob, and it was just, I was like, I looked and I was acting like a totally different person, but I was acting more like myself than I ever could be. But when I was doing those things, he was like, who are you? Like, what is this? And he was looking like standoffish and scared and nervous because he didn't know himself. So then it scared him to see me stepping into, or trying to figure out at least, who I really was, and to breathe into my authenticity. And that's why we ended up breaking up, because it was just one of the same page. So in any event, that happened in the movie, and then while she was going through this time period of not knowing what was going on with who she was and what she wanted, he saw that as conflict, and so he ended up getting her a all expenses paid session to go to conflict management just for herself, to figure herself out, basically to get back to who he wants her to be. See, all of that manipulating to be who you want someone else to be, that's not love. That's figuring out what love is, but you gotta love yourself truly to have love find you. And so while she was in conflict management, she came across a guy who had reviewed her book, and he gave it a bad review, and so thus she saw him as like just defensive and rude and just like judgy, and so they seemed opposite, because he didn't care so much about starting up conflict and stating his opinion strongly, but she had an issue with stating her opinion, period, and letting people walk all over her and being a doormat. And I can attest to that, because I abhor conflict and I just want everybody to be comfortable. And I've said this in many of my videos, I will suppress what I feel just so you can live and breathe in what I think is your truth, or what I feel to be your truth, so that you can be comfortable at my expense. And so I wouldn't bring up issues. I wouldn't. And then when I did bring up issues, it would be, well, this is wrong and that is wrong and this isn't right and this doesn't feel right. And then it would just kind of feel like an attack on someone's character. I would do it in a really calm, sweet, and genuine and sincere way. It would just be overwhelming, because it was all the stuff I suppressed and never said. So then that stems towards a communication issue. Like, you think you're doing the right thing, but you're just enabling someone to treat you how you don't want to be treated, or you're accepting of behavior that's not conducive to how you want to exist in a relationship. So then it's not fair. It's not fair for you. It feels fair for them, because I put people before myself, but not anymore. So she had to come to grips with realizing that she had to learn how to stand up for herself, and he had to learn how to be more in touch with his feelings and not just attack and be defensive all the time. And so he was on a talk radio show, and she was a writer, of course, and he would go into a show and start talking about how their conflict resolution and how things weren't working out, and yeah, but she wouldn't face the conflict when they were in the room together. But when he would talk about it on the air, she would call in as an anonymous caller and then state her opinion. So then it's like she faced the conflict from a distance, when she didn't have to basically face herself in the moment and face the person at the same time, because it's safer to do it from a distance. And that's what sometimes happens with the twins, because you're learning to face yourself. You're learning to face all of the parts of yourself that you thought were all good. But no matter what you do, or no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, we all have some stuff that needs to be healed, and it takes a certain situation for it to come up, and you need a certain situation for you to feel safe, so you can feel safe enough to work on those issues. And sometimes you don't always want to be with your twin in that space, because like, I don't want to face it right now. Like, give me time. Like, I need time to process all of this and go deeper into what's really happening, because sometimes we don't know in the moment where it really stems from. And in the movie, they kept trying to help her figure out, well, where does this conflict stem from? And both of their conflicts ended up stemming from their relationship with their fathers, and the dynamic that they had with their fathers. So with his father was really stern and not very loving, and he would they just didn't have any communication whatsoever. But his father just wanted the best for him and wanted him to be the best, and so it just came off as distant and disconnected. And so that's how he was in his relationships. And the girl with her father, she wanted his approval, so she would just kind of be compliant and complacent, and they never had an argument because she never disagreed with him. Every time he said anything, she would just say, yeah, I agree. And every time anybody asked her her opinion, she's like, yeah, I agree. And I can attest to that, because sometimes I don't have an opinion, because I mean, it's your life, so sure, yeah, whatever. I've never really felt strongly convicted about anything, because I just feel like I'm so open and free, and for me to throw my opinion or what I think into your face, basically, or into your realm of thought, then I just don't get the point. I didn't get the point. But who said this? If you don't stand up for yourself, then no one else will. So I feel like I'm in a space of learning to stand up for myself and learning to use my voice and state what I believe in. And if I don't have an opinion on it, I'll just say I don't know. But that doesn't mean I have to just agree with who's ever in my space just to avoid conflict or make everyone comfortable. And so at the end of the day, she was learning to stand up for herself, and it turns out that she was dating. She was dating that guy, but nobody in the conflict resolution room knew about it, and in the conflict resolution session, because it was a group session, nobody knew about it, and he didn't know about it, the radio station guy, but it turns out that he liked her, and they were twin flames, because it was like, it seems like they're opposites, it seems like a paradox, but they're really the same at the root, at the core. And they ended up, every time conflict came up, she would just leave. She wouldn't say anything, she would just leave. And if any conflict came up with him, he would just leave and just walk away, because they needed time to separate and process. But they still inspired each other, because at the end of the day, she wrote a true and authentic book from her perspective about being a doormat and how she learned to be able to stand up for herself. And this relationship helped her see herself more deeply. And she kept putting herself in positions that forced herself, the stuff that she was trying to avoid, she was putting herself in a position to have to deal with it at some point. So it ended up that the guy that didn't really know himself and was kind of, not bland, but wasn't for her, he asked her to marry her, and she said yes, knowing that she didn't want to marry him, knowing that she was following the other guy. And so she was setting herself up for a more difficult situation to face conflict, because she was eventually going to have to break up with him in the engagement. And so eventually she did, but before she did, her twin did something. Class, and they were talking about, well, what was your real issue still? And she was like, I don't know. And then he put her in front of the mirror, and she just said, look at yourself. And then he left. And that's symbolism for what happens with the twin. It's like, okay, bye. I can't deal with this right now. I need to deal with myself. You need to deal with yourself, and then we can come back. That's why it was such a blessing that me and my twin did not come together in the physical, and we did not have sex with each other, because that would have convoluted and confused everything. Because we just would have kept triggering and hurting each other. That's why it was time for us to step away and heal more deeply, so that when we come together, we can have a clear that karma, and come to a better and deeper understanding of ourselves, so that we can have a deep, heartfelt connection. And after I purged and cried like that last night, after I purged, I'm able to clear all of that energy and come to deeper realizations. And so me and my twin haven't been talking, because he blocked me and then I blocked him or whatever. And I ended up unblocking him. I unblocked him maybe like 5 days ago. And I'm not expecting to hear from him, because I mean, at this point we have stuff that we need to do in our own physical lives and at a deep spiritual level. So it's not always necessary for you to need that validation from your twin. You validate yourself. You validate yourself when you know your self-worth and you know who you are, and that takes time. So be gentle with yourself and have compassion. I have a deep level of compassion for what my twin is going through, because when I first got back in contact with him after 5 years, and I was leaving my job, and I was like coming to this point, like, what am I in my life? Who am I? What is this thing called life, and what am I here to do? I was in a relationship with the guy that was afraid of himself, essentially. I was attracting guys that were beautiful on the outside, and people didn't really see beyond that beauty. They just kind of wanted to be in their presence because they were hot, and but they were anxious and insecure inside, and so was I. So I was attracting that level of person because I was that level of person. But I was coming to a deeper realization that I wanted to get out of that vibration and align higher, but they weren't ready for that. And it was also the fact that they were cheating and being unloyal, and I was cheating and being unloyal, to be completely honest, because I was trying to get back into connection with my twin, and it was because I was like, he has something important for me. He has a spiritual gift to share with me. Because I was like, this is the one guy that I didn't have sex with on the first night. Okay, not the first night, that I didn't have sex with, but I just got sustenance and nourishment from the conversation that we had and the connection that we had. So I was like, I need to go back to that so that I can move forward. Like, because I found myself in connection with guys, and this guy was the epitome of the guy. So time to fly. But no, I was really putting in some work to get back into connection with him, and obviously it happened because I spent time with him at the time. But he was also going through a transition where he was finding himself and reasserting himself in the music industry as who he is and who he really truly is. So I'm telling you, divine timing is always at play. So I woke up kind of disoriented and really off kilter today, and I was just feeling really distraught, and of course I cried again, like just on fire. I'm like I'm a sentimental essence, the quintessence of a sentimental essence, like, yes. So I was feeling distraught, whatever, and I just needed some inspiration, and I was listening to music, and I was listening to these two guys, and I'm like, their souls are so beautiful, and they're beautiful on the outside too. I'm attracted to these guys. Like, what is it about them? I think attraction goes so much deeper than the physical. Like, because I feel like I'm attracted to the same souls in different bodies, but the bodies are really, really pretty too. So I'm also wondering, because the body, their faces look similar. They may have different complexions and different hair, but their faces look similar. So I feel like there's some connection here. Like, maybe, because I remember when I was younger, I was always looking for this particular person, particular face, particular hair, and then it turned out that my twin was that person. Almost that person. Very similar soul, but not the same higher soul. So I think that's the difference. In any event, so I was drawn to listen to this guy, and I felt closer to my twin when listening to them, because it's like they're like soulmates, even though I've never talked to them or dated them, obviously, but they're like soulmates. But actually, I think I did talk to one of them, because before I manifested my twin back into my life, one of these musicians, I was like, wow, I would really like to talk to him and get to know him, because he has a beautiful soul and he has a beautiful face, and he looks like somebody I know. Like, I don't know, like past lives. I'm trying to make the connection. And I was on a dating website, the same dating website that I met my twin, and I was just thinking about this guy and looking at his videos and stuff, and then it turned out that he ended up messaging me like, I don't know if it was the same day or 2 days later, and he was like, I really like your style. And I messaged back, but he never did, because he's a music artist, so he just be doing whatever. And it could have been that it was somebody pretending to be him, but in any event, manifestations and stuff that happens in the fifth dimension happens so quickly, like in the speed of light. So whatever you're thinking is going to manifest. So that's why it's important to keep your vibrations high. But if you are feeling that sorrowful feeling, just get in tune with what the emotion is, and get in tune with what it's trying to tell you, so that you can heal it and grow through it and rise higher. And know that it's okay to cry, and it's okay to feel down and feel sad. We are humans, but know the importance of how your thoughts create your reality, so you can shape it. But okay, this is my last point I'm trying to make. So I was watching this guy's videos, and he had a video called Waterfalls, and me and my twin have a deep connection with waterfalls. I talked about it in my videos a couple of times, that he had a video saying he wants to make her waterfall, and I'm like, that's my twin in another body. So I was in love with that song. That was a song that really hit me. There was a song and a video that he did called Need Some Me Time. And so it was about him. He was dating a girl, and he apparently needed some me time, but it turned out that she didn't have all the pieces to the puzzle, but he was really doing what she wanted, because he was trying to set it up that way, got a text from his planet. It said, from my planet. And then it said, what are you doing? And so he ended up leaving, and he left the girl that he just spent the night with a note saying, babe, I love you so much, but I have to have some me time. It's not you, it's me. You know, the typical thing. It's not you, it's me. But it's true. It's not someone else. It's always you. It's always that person. It's just reflected and projected onto the other person. So I'm talking fast because I don't know if my camera's gonna cut off. But so he left. A butterfly just came. Butterfly symbolism always following me. Okay. So he left, and he was on like a spaceship, and he was in outer space, and the girl ended up calling, and she was like, well, where did you go? Why did you leave? He was like, I just need some me time. I'm sorry, bye. And then she was like, oh, okay. And then the scene switched where she found a little box that held a ring, but it didn't look like a ring. It looked like a glowing. It was a red glow. It had a red glow to it, and when she opened the box, it just radiated a red light. The frame went over, and it showed that the guy that said he'll be right back, he just needed some me time, he was like going through space and dealing with like turbulence and alien attacks, so it's like pressure and stress on the masculine, and so he was saying he needed some me time to decompress, but his me time was, it switched over to the frame. He was going to see his divine feminine, partner who he's learning lessons with, and it's like kind of it doesn't bring out that your higher self, okay? It brings out a comfortability and a knowing, like I know it's a soulmate slash karmic partner. But then when they switched over to the frame, he was landing on another planet, and then he immediately started smiling, and he was glowing, and he looked down at the woman, and she had on this spacesuit, and she had like hazel kind of green eyes, and he looked at her, and he looked at her as if she was holy. Like, he looked at her as if she was a divine temple, as if she was a goddess, a space goddess, an otherworldly, unearthly being. And it's a look in the eyes, guys. The eyes will tell you what somebody's thinking. They'll tell you how they truly feel. That's why you gotta pay attention. So he looked at her, and then he was like, he was checking his pockets for the ring, and he was like, oh my God, don't tell me. And I was like, are you kidding me? What is wrong with me? And yeah, obviously he left it, and he looked at her, and he was like, she is so beautiful. Like, and he was basically saying, she's so beautiful. I have to go get that ring because she deserves it. I have to go get that ring because it's for her. Like, she's it. But when he realized he left a ring, he gave her eye contact, and he gave her that look, but he left without any explanation. And that's how it feels when me and my twin disconnect in the physical. It's like we leave without communicating or explaining, because we have to learn to communicate our truth and stand up for what it is that we want and what it is that we believe in. And it's time for us to be rebels for love and stand up for the love that we desire and we know is true and pure in our hearts. But we have stuff that we have to deal with on our own sides before we can completely merge in the physical. We are merged in the fifth dimension, because I have dreams about him, and I have these. It's the littlest things that manifest into the physical. Like, I had a dream after we went to physical separation that his higher self came to me, and it was like, welcome to the dark side, and then it had like demon horns or whatever. And then a day later, I was looking on his Instagram, and there was a little, I still don't know what it's called, he leave a video or a picture for 24 hours on Instagram, and he was in his music studio, and he was toggling the producer's shoulder back. He had on a jacket. The producer had a jacket that said demon on it, and I mean it says it right there, because he feels like the love is gone, because he's confused about why I didn't want to move forward and have sex with him in the physical, because I know what's happening. It's what's happening in that movie. I mean, in that clip that I just shared with you guys. He has the karmic at home, but the goddess doesn't allow for a man to treat her like he treats the karmics, because she knows that she deserves more. And when you know better, you do better, and you only allow higher into your life. And it's so interesting because I never really stand up for what I want or what I need, because my ex, we didn't actually break up. He left because he found out that I was talking to my twin. And so he left, and that's why I have compassion for my twin right now, because I think that his karmic knows about me, or something's happening, because she used to leave comments on all of his, not all of his pictures, but on his pictures, and they would be really beautiful comments, and it was comments that let you know that she knew this person and that they shared something together. Perceptivity. And then after we lost contact, and I was telling him, I know you have other counterparts, and I know that we're about to go through this like suicide, spiritual suicide, where we have to kill off a part of ourselves that used to serve us, and that also means disconnecting from some of our karmics. And yeah, and so afterwards I found out, I was looking on his Instagram, and there's like no comments from her anymore. He deleted them all. And so something's shifting. I just don't know what's happening. I don't know what's really manifesting, but in the spiritual, something deep and profound is happening. And I don't want to say that my masculine is going through a dark night of the soul, because I don't want to project that onto him. But I know when I was shifting and releasing all of my exes, and clearing up those energy blockages so I can have space within my being to attract what's meant for me, it was difficult because I felt alone, and I felt like I didn't have anyone or anything to turn to. I felt like I was just kind of, I was weightless, but I felt like I didn't have anything to lean back on. Like, even if I wanted to talk to someone else, I couldn't, because I didn't want to. Once you experience connecting your higher self with your twin's higher self, nothing else compares. Absolutely nothing else. And so I say all that to say, whatever your twin's going through, you have been through, or you've gone through it on some level. So instead of kind of getting ego hurt, try to see from the lens of the higher heart and align with the love frequency, so you can see it from a higher perspective. And then at that point you can offer forgiveness and extend forgiveness in the spiritual realm. That doesn't mean you have to contact your twin or say anything, because when you align with the frequency, you allow your twin to align with that frequency, and you transmit it to them in the 5D. But in any event, I did reach out to my twin, because that video, on so many levels, it projected what we were going through. On so many levels, it was a playfulness to it. It was a level of vulnerability and honesty to it. And when you know, you just have a feeling. It's a feeling. It's a feeling that you just go with. It's not something where you think, oh, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. It's like, no, I have to do this. And stuff like that is what will break you and your twins' hearts open into connection, into deeper, truer, honest connection. And it's okay to be playful and be yourself. Like, don't forget to be yourself. Through the healing is how you step into your more authentic and true self. And so at first it feels like you're never going to get through it, but then you eventually break through to the other side, through the other side of the veil, so that you can experience something even more profoundly beautiful. And so follow your higher heart, follow the guidance of your higher heart, follow your intuition. And when I sent that message to him, I didn't even have an inkling that I was blocked, because usually my ego would be like, oh, I'm not going to send it. He blocked me, so there's no way he can see it. But I know he sees all of my messages, and I know he sees all my memos. And it's when you do it in a state of allowing and surrendering, in a state of non-control, because for both of our whole lives, we've tried to control and manipulate things for others' highest good, actually. For the highest good and comfortability of everybody else. And so it kind of hurt to know that right when I find somebody that I completely unconditionally love more than anything, I have to stand up for myself and create boundaries. So that's what I'm saying. The one thing that you're trying to avoid will eventually come back to you in the most intense way, so that you can get it. And I got it. I'm not saying this is the end of the road for me as far as triggering and healing, but this was a really big, deep breakthrough. spiritual importance. So I think that's all that I wanted to say today. Just allow that playful energy to come back in. Allow yourself to truly be yourself. As you awaken parts of yourself, you don't have to just share it with your twin. Share it with the world. Share it with yourself. Love yourself more deeply than you've ever loved before. Love those pieces of you, those newly awakened pieces of you, to pieces. You deserve it. You deserve the love that you seek from others, because the love is already in you. You are an embodiment of source energy. You are an embodiment of love, and you are strong enough to partake on this path because you chose it before you came here. So blessed be, beautifully beloved beings. I'm going to head to work because I'm possibly late, and I have so much more work to do lately, even though I'm going through like so much purging and healing. But it's good to connect with others. It feels good. I'm just here on my rock. It says mine. I don't know if you can see it. I don't think you can see it. And it's beautiful, huh? And it has a little heart on top. Ooh, that's nice symbolism. I with the heart. I heart myself. I love myself, and I love my twin, and I love everybody. Just exude the love that you embody. Exude the love that you are. And everything that's destined for you will align itself with you as you align with it within. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for letting me vent and process these emotions, and I hope that my story resonates with some beautiful soul out there who's ascending on this divine twin flame journey. And I will talk to you guys